Zoombini's must have something in common with their neighbor to sit on Captain Cajun's ferry.
Oh, perfect. Hey, Echae, come up here a sec.
What is it this time?
You're the genius. Can Zoombini swim?
Tyscene, why would I know that better than anyone else? And anyway, why do you ask?
'Cause we're gonna have to.
What do you... Oh my gosh. Echae only just then realized that they were standing at the edge of a small cliff, and about 10 feet below them was the most enormous river he had ever seen. The water was fairly calm, but judging by the dark blue color, it was certainly not a safe depth for any of them. And not only that, it must have been at least a mile wide, as Echae couldn't even see to the other side, only a deep blue expanse that faded in the distance.
What's going on?
Dead end. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really feel like going in there. We're gonna have to go around.
Miss Tyscene, sir, I mean, ma'am. How are we gonna do that?
Yeah, aren't rivers really long?
Ugh, don't you two ever shut up?
Echae was quite as annoyed as Tyscene. Among the members of their group were none other than Sekrai's old cronies, Iake and Weiswyo, and in the absence of their leader, they were obviously looking for someone to latch onto.
Sorry, we're just saying.
Well, from now on, don't say anything unless it's useful. That ought to keep you quiet for a few weeks.
Well, they do have a point, Tyscene. Judging from the size of that thing, it'd take us weeks or even months to go all the way around. I'm sure it'd be just easier to cross it.
Well, do you have any ideas about how to do that, oh great all-knowing Echae? Are you hiding any scuba gear or a bridge?
Look, I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying that your genius little plan isn't going to work. There's no way across.
Miss Tyscene, is this a bad time?
What did I just tell you about talking to me? Is this gonna be useful?
Pretty useful. I see a boat.
The boat, as it turned out, was nothing more than a large wooden raft, although it was certainly big enough to hold all of them. It was resting nearly a mile upstream of where the Zoombinis had previously been, leaving them all thoroughly exhausted by the time they finally approached it. This place is pretty nice. Nice job, Iake. Now let's just hope that guy gives us a ride. Echae was referring to the apparent conductor of the makeshift ferry boat. He was a very tall, skinny creature with a green skin tone that was unnervingly similar to the bloat's. And he was wearing a very baggy pair of overalls of a nearly identical color. As the group cautiously clambered onto a nearby wooden dock and came up to him, they saw that he was leaning soundly against his elongated oar, fast asleep.
Wake him up, Echae.
Ah! Oh, ah! What? Was that? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. My apologies. I was having a nightmare about bunnies. Evil bunnies. Is your friend alright?
Don't worry about it. I've had worse. A lot worse.
Sorry if we bothered you. It's just we sort of need a ride across the river.
Well, you all come to the right place. Welcome to the boat. I will be your navigator today. You may call me Captain Cajun.
Wow, I like him. Very poised, very nice, and I love the accent. Mr. Cajun, sir? You haven't seen another group come this way, have you? I mean, more people that look like us?
No. I'm most certain I would remember seeing more of you.
Great. I guess the other guys did go south after all. How are we gonna find them now?
Many pardons, son? But did you just say your friends went south?
Yeah. Why?
Y'all aren't from around here, are you?
Why? What's so bad about going south?
Oh, nothing. Just an entire forest full of fleens is all.
You mean Say and the other guys are being ambushed by fleens as we speak?
Echae, you idiot! You never said there were fleens here!
I didn't know. I mean, Arno mentioned it once, just for a second, but I never thought
Echae,
that
this is
Say
not
would
your
actually
fault.
go
We're
down
not
there. I
He
mean,
didn't say
come
anything about
on.
fleens. He just
We
said
could
that there
have
were
went
fleens
after
over
them
here.
and
Oh,
warned
wait,
them.
no,
Like,
here,
yeah,
just a
what
moment.
are we gonna do
Calm
now?
down,
We
everyone.
can see them again if we can't get to them.
Shut up! Sorry about that. Now, it's true that there are fleens living in the forest to the south, most certainly. However, I do believe you are all overreacting just a little. As long as your friends have the wisdom to stay out of their way, everything will be fine.
But you don't understand, Mr. Cajun. We have, a history with the fleens. He took a minute to briefly explain the backstory of the Zoombinis and the fleens as related to him in years past by the adults. And apparently, after our parents kicked them off, they all came here. Pretty miserable luck for us.
Well, that is most unfortunate, but I'm afraid there's nothing within my capabilities that I may do for your fellow fellows?
Well then, we've got to go back and warn them ourselves.
Echae, it's no use. They've been traveling since yesterday. If something's happened to them, we're way too late to do anything about it.
But what about the other guys? What about your brother? What about Say?
Well, who knows, Echae? Maybe they got away from the fleens after all. Maybe they outsmarted them.
Not if Zachary was in charge. They didn't.
Excuse me. I assure you all that you have my deepest condolences, but I must inquire after whether or not y'all will be requiring my services.
Of course we will. There's no point in going back.
Well then, hie yourselves up and find Joe's seat.
Don't mind if I do.
The seats they would be using, which were nothing more than small wooden stools, were arranged into 4 rows with the second and fourth slightly farther to the right than the first and third. Surrounding them, and taking up most of the space on the raft, were all manners of barrels, crates, and wrapped packages. There was even a basket of fish. Mr. Cajun? What's all this stuff?
Why, that, son, is my merchandise. It's how I make a living, selling things all up and down this here river.
Kinda like we used to do.
Very astute of you, Iake.
I'm Weiswyo.
Whatever.
Echae had just found what looked to be the most comfortable of all the seats and was about to sit down when at the last minute he froze. His experiences on this continent had taught him that nothing here was as easy or straightforward as it should be. Mr. Cajun, sir? Is there any certain, order you want us to sit in? Anything like that?
Sit wherever you want to. I don't really care.
Really? No stupid rules or anything? Awesome!
No. Can't do that. You all soaking wet. Ha ha ha.
Sir? What was that for?
You said we could sit wherever we wanted to!
Oh, did I? My pardons. What I meant to say, say whatever you want to, as long as you got at least one thing in common with everyone sitting next to you.
Well, that's just a little bit different.
Oh, come on now. Don't give me that look. How fun would it be if I just let y'all on this here bout without any challenge?
Very fun.
Come on, Echae, let's just do what he says. I want to get out of here.
Okay, fine. I guess this can't be that hard to do. After emerging from the water for the 7th time, Echae was starting to wonder if this would really be that easy.
You know, this wouldn't be nearly as difficult if you didn't keep catapulting us into the water every time we make a mistake.
Oh, I know. But this way you'll learn faster.
Well, let's try again. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad if the seats were in a straight line or a circle or anything like this. But what I'm looking at right now, the seats in the middle are surrounded by 6 others. Finding 6 Zoombinis who shared some physical trait with me, who in turn had to have 6 others with something in common with them, is no easy task. There's gotta be another way to do this. We're wasting time.
Maybe we should ask Tyscene. She'll know what to do.
Oh, get real, Iake. I know you're trying to get her to like you and all, but there's no way she...
I've got an idea.
And I stand corrected.
We've been doing this all wrong. We've just been going up and down the rows. What we should be doing is filling up the middle first. Right, Captain?
We'll have to see now, won't we?
Tyscene, what are you getting at?
Well, think about it. If we fill up the middle first, it would be a lot easier to find a lot of people who have things in common with them. And we should do the outside last, because those guys will only be sitting next to a few other people.
No way. How in the world did Tyscene think of this plan? Where did that come from? Well, we can try it.
Good job there.
Great idea, Tyscene. You were awesome. You were all you sit there and you sit over there, and it worked. That was the greatest thing ever.
Weiswyo, this is making me like you less.
Oh, sorry.
That was pretty good, Tyscene. I hate to admit it, but that idea of yours was really smart.
I'm glad you finally realize it.
Now, since y'all are on board, I suppose we best be shoving off.
Take one last look, guys. We won't see it again.
Although everyone else was excited to be off, Echae was feeling morose. He couldn't help but think that with that shoreline vanished any chance of ever seeing Saetwo again. The ferry ride was a very enjoyable one. The sun shining and a light breeze blowing. The Zoombinis didn't even seem to care that the captain was whistling loudly to himself for most of the way. Echae, however, couldn't stop thinking. As he was watching a few of the passengers cautiously sneak into the fish basket and started munching on its contents, he finally decided to voice what was on his mind. Hey, Mr. Cajun? I don't want to be rude, but what was the point of all that?
Yeah! Why couldn't you just let us sit wherever?
Well, now, that's a good question. But I'm certain y'all can answer it for yourselves. Why do you think? Why would I make y'all sit so that everyone had something in common with everyone next to them?
You have OCD, don't you?
Yes. I mean, shut up. I had a true and valid reason. I'm looking after you. I'm helping you.
Wait. How the heck was that supposed to help us? All you did was dump us in the river.
Now listen here, son. I'm helping you by getting you to look at things different. To think outside the box, you might say. If them fleens decide they want to come after you too, the only way you're gonna beat them is by using your brains, by using logic.
There's that L word again.
So when you do finally meet up with those yellow pains in the neck, I want y'all to remember what you've learned so far on your little quest. I'm certain it will help you more than you realize.
No one could think of a response to this. Echae thought back, and to his shock, realized the captain was right. It seemed like every puzzle they had solved thus far required some sort of unconventional thinking, and he had come away from them all the wiser. Actually, he already felt a lot smarter than he had back on Zoombini Isle. About half hour later, the distant shore finally came into view, and within minutes, the ferry boat had pulled up onto the sand. Thank you very much, Mr. Cajun. You helped us out a lot.
Well, I do what I can. Now y'all remember what I told you back there. You hear?
Yeah, learn from experience, think outside the box, whatever. Ah!
Maybe you'll learn something from that. Good luck to y'all.
Take care, Mr. Cajun, and thanks for everything.
I'll be seeing you all again, no doubt. And I'll keep an eye out for your friends, I do believe.
You really think you're going to run into them? What about the fleens?
Well, son, I'ma say, if your friends are anywhere near as smart as all of you, them fleens don't stand a chance.